used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need me now. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need me now.
So today I'm using Wo Chen. Why? Look at him, he deserves it. If you look at my team right now, you notice the usual OU suspects, that Dragapult, Gliscor, Gholdengo and Slowking are all pretty standard. But what is this dog doing here? Well, initially, I decided that I very much needed a gouging fire check. So, looking through the checks, I decided that instead of using a good Pokemon, I decided to use Dachsbun. Honestly, it's not even that bad. You can check a lot of the usually difficult to answer Pokemon. It even beats Volcarona with well-baked body. There is a poke paste in the description if you want to use it. My alt is AG Eats, mostly because Wo Chen is AG material. Like, it beats Calyrex Shadow. That's pretty cool. In the background, I've been doing some major tomfoolery in order to get rid of this Corviknight. Finally, I do finally end up managing to beat it. Garchomp comes in and I opt to use the power of Wo Chen. It eats these like nothing and I can safely get a sub up. Anyways, here's Wo Chen beating most of their team. Also, this Primarina is pretty dangerous. It sets up a bunch of calm mines and I lose a few Pokemon trying to beat it, which is kind of a blunder. In all of these replays, not a single person used gouging fire. This is so sad. Dachsbun will get used later, trust me. By the way, in the Sun matchup you are completely folded by Raging Bolt. This team is actually the worst. That wasn't the best play. But the Dachsbun comes in and completely walls this great Tusk. It also completely walls the Garchomp in the back too. Dachsbun is life. Dachsbun is love. This is kind of boring, so I will speed this up. Anyways, the Iron Valiant comes in and I have some pretty safe answers to it, which mostly just traps up the game. I'm versus Hyper Offense and at this point I've realized that my team is very weak to Darkrai's coverage. My only real answer is Wo Chen, and it dies to Ice Beam or Sludge Bomb. Thankfully, this Darkrai is choice specs, which means it can only click one move before being locked in. This is where the GOAT Dachsbun comes in and after a bit of fumbling around, roars out the Volcarona. And then I let it die to Moonblast. Also, I had a very healthy Slowking in the back, and this guy didn't think to use Earth Power? The Ribombee gets up Sticky Web, but it doesn't matter because most of my team is Heavy Duty Boots and Gliscor and Gholdengo are not grounded. Tailwind goes up for some reason. I've been using a lot of Wo Chen over the past few days, and it is really boring to use and play against. It's almost impossible to take out, and even U-turns kind of only do 50% on it. On another note, the Anemoris becomes stellar, but I do manage to paralyze it. With the paralysis halving speed. I can go to Gholdengo to make it rain and take it out. After that, the game is pretty much over at this point, as Dragapult can come it and Dragon Darts to finish the rest of the team. So I'm up against another Hyper Offense here, and I'm off to a pretty bad start with the Glimmora, being red card. And it also conveniently brings out the worst possible Pokémon. I had to make up for it and go to Gliscor to take out this Glimmora. Roaring Moon comes in again and reminds me how much I really don't like playing SVOU. It's a very interesting format. Nothing really feels in your control. At any moment you can just lose because of a random Terra. Team building is also really not fun because there are just way too many factors to consider, and not everybody likes Hyper Offense. I think National Dex is a better format, but I used Wo-Chien in OU because it would be marginally funnier. And also Ferrothorn doesn't exist. What am I even supposed to say when Wo-Chien is just clicking Substitute and Protect? I mean, it's not that interesting. Against the Enamorus, I get crit by Earth Power, which makes me not get up the sub, which is sad. And then I proceed to miss Leech Seed. Awesome. He goes to Kingambit and then back to Enamorus, and I expect him to Moonblast. I Terra Poison to get up a sub, but then he uses Mystical Fire. He stays in and I knock off the Enum. This was a blunder. Now he could use Earth Power can destroy me, which isn't great. I sacrifice Gholdengo to go to Slowking. He Healing Wishes and gets his Kingambit all the way back up to full health. I sacrifice Wo-Chisel in order to get Gliscor in, but they simply go to Darkrai. A little bit of tomfoolery later, I get the Darkrai paralyzed and manage to keep Slowking alive, which is great. I use Dragapult to pivot back into Gliscor, which safely beats the Kingambit. I sacrifice Slowking, and Dragapult cleans up the rest of this endgame.
You used to call me on my cell phone.